There are moments when silence speaks louder than any public statement. Moments when what is not said becomes more revealing than any press release. According to multiple royal observers, Prince Andrew has entered one of those moments. Removed from public duties, stripped of honorifics, and quietly sidelined, Andrew is no longer playing the role of protected royal. And in private, sources claim he is no longer willing to shoulder the burden alone. Prince Andrew's downfall was swift and absolute. Once allegations connected his name to Jeffrey Epstein, the machinery of the monarchy moved decisively. Public appearances vanished. Military titles were returned. Institutional backing dissolved almost overnight. Regardless of guilt or innocence in the court of law, the court of public opinion had already passed judgment. Andrew became untouchable. Yet royal watchers have long noted something strange. While Andrew's associations were dissected relentlessly, others who moved within overlapping elite social circles were never subjected to the same scrutiny. The discrepancy raised quiet questions among insiders. Why did accountability land so heavily on one figure while bypassing others who appeared in similar environments during the same era? According to people familiar with Andrew's private conversations, frustration has been building for years. He reportedly believes he became a convenient endpoint, a lightning rod that allowed the institution to close ranks and move forward without reopening deeper, messier questions about elite access, social pipelines, and who was allowed proximity to power. This is where Meghan Markle enters the discussion, not as a conclusion, but as a question. Observers have pointed out that before Meghan's introduction to Prince Harry, her social trajectory changed rapidly. From working actress to frequent presence at high-end international gatherings, she appeared to move easily through spaces that were typically inaccessible without sponsorship or facilitation. That alone is not an accusation. Many people network successfully. But Andrew, according to sources, believes that the mechanisms behind that access deserve scrutiny. Those who follow elite social ecosystems understand one thing clearly. These worlds are small. The same names recur, the same hosts, the same venues, the same private invitations. Soho House, luxury yachts, invitation-only retreats, these spaces function as gateways. Entry is curated, not accidental. A recurring name in this network is Marcus Anderson, a senior figure associated with Soho House. Industry insiders describe Anderson not merely as a host, but as a connector, someone who understood how to place people in proximity to influence. Again, this is not inherently sinister, but Andrew reportedly believes this connective tissue is where uncomfortable questions live. According to unverified accounts circulating among royal observers, Andrew has suggested that Meghan's proximity to influential figures predated her relationship with Harry by several years. He allegedly views her introduction to royal circles not as a spontaneous love story, but as the end point of a longer social ascent. What unsettles palace watchers is not the suggestion of ambition is common, but the silence surrounding how these social bridges were built. When Andrew's associations became radioactive, the institution acted decisively. Yet, when similar questions hovered elsewhere, the response was absence rather than inquiry. Another layer complicates the picture. Reports have circulated for years that Virginia Giuffre's legal team considered a wide range of witnesses during their preparation, exploring social overlaps rather than singular encounters. While no formal action involved Meghan Markle, the mere consideration reportedly alarmed palace insiders. The concern was not individual culpability, but collateral exposure, the risk that mapping elite social networks would destabilize far more than one disgraced royal. Andrew, according to sources, believes this fear explains the silence, not protection of individuals, but protection of the system. Royal families do not fear scandal alone. They fear precedent. Once one thread is pulled, others follow. Andrew's reported resentment stems from the belief that he was sacrificed to preserve a broader illusion that the monarchy exists apart from the elite ecosystems that surround it. This belief has reportedly hardened since Andrew watched Meghan and Harry leverage royal proximity for global platforms, media deals, and public sympathy. From his perspective, one narrative was allowed to flourish while another was buried. Insiders say Andrew no longer feels loyalty towards those who distanced themselves when his usefulness ended. Without titles, without public standing, and without institutional protection, he is reportedly confronting a dangerous reality. He has nothing left to lose. And history shows that when powerful individuals reach that point, silence rarely holds forever.
The most revealing aspect of this unfolding situation is not what has been confirmed, but what remains carefully unexamined. Institutions rarely collapse because of a single scandal. They weaken when inconsistencies become impossible to ignore. For years, royal commentators have noted the unusual speed with which Meghan Markle integrated into the highest levels of aristocratic society. Introductions that typically take decades occurred in months. Access that most outsiders never achieve appeared effortless. This fueled speculation, not proof, that her rise followed a well-worn but rarely discussed path through elite social filtering systems. According to individuals familiar with these environments, certain clubs in private networks operate as informal vetting grounds. People who succeed there are not chosen randomly. They are selected for adaptability, discretion, and usefulness within elite social ecosystems. This does not imply wrongdoing, but it does imply strategy. Prince Andrew, sources claim, believes Meghan understood the system well. He reportedly views her relationship with Harry not as an isolated romance, but as a pivot, a recalibration once one route into royal life closed and another opened. Sarah Ferguson's alleged discomfort, long rumored among palace watchers, fits this interpretation. Fergie is widely regarded as socially perceptive, deeply familiar with aristocratic survival, and acutely aware of reputational risk. Whether or not she actively blocked connections, her reported wariness has been noted by those who observe the dynamics closely. Where this becomes truly volatile is Andrew's belief that Meghan later severed ties with the York family once their influence diminished. In elite circles, such discarding is remembered, and those who are discarded often retain knowledge others wish forgotten. Prince Andrew and Fergie are not merely sidelined royals, they are long-term witnesses. They remember introductions, conversations, overlaps, and silences. According to insiders, Andrew now feels that his discretion was repaid with abandonment. This is why palace silence persists, not out of affection, but out of calculation. Exposing one figure risks illuminating the entire architecture of elite access, how outsiders enter, who facilitates them, and why certain questions are never asked. Prince Harry's position adds another layer of tragedy. Sources suggest that Harry was warned before his marriage, not with evidence, but with instinctual unease. At the time, he reportedly interpreted these warnings as prejudice or resistance to change. Only later, observers claim, did doubts emerge. If true, this realization would be devastating, not because of a single revelation, but because of cumulative doubt, the feeling that one abandoned family, country, and role without fully understanding the story being entered. Andrew, watching from isolation, reportedly sees irony in this collapse. He was condemned as the embodiment of royal rot, while others who navigated the same social universe emerged untarnished. In his mind, justice was selective. Whether Andrew ever speaks publicly remains uncertain. The palace understands the danger. Once one narrative breaks, others follow. Documents resurface, introductions are re-examined, patterns emerge. This is not about revenge, it is about leverage. Andrew, reportedly aware that the institution cannot attack him further without reopening wounds it desperately wants sealed. And he knows that the people who once ignored him may soon need him silent. For now, everything remains rumor, implication, and silence.
But silence has a shelf life, and when it expires, the story will not be about individuals alone. It will be about the systems that enabled them, protected them, and ultimately turned on them. Because in the end, institutions do not collapse from truth. They collapse from the fear of it.